So welcome to part 2 of this series of videos about my trip from Orkney, where me and my wife and Monty live, down to the south of Spain in December 2024 slash January, February, March 2025. Yes, we're getting away from Orkney winters. So the purpose of this video is just to explain how we drive this full electric vehicle, this Kia e-Niro with a 64 kilowatt hour battery that's 3.5 years old, that's got 44,000 miles on it. How easy was it to drive from Orkney down to the south of Spain in the winter without any planning whatsoever, other than where we're going to stay and sleep on the way down? So the first bit of the video is basically us getting on the Aberdeen boat, as we call it here on Orkney, which is the Northlink ferry service from Hatstone in Orkney down to Aberdeen on the east coast of Scotland. Hope you enjoy. So after 7 hours on the Aberdeen boat, it's Saturday the 28th of December, and left Ursula in the cabin, went down, sorted out Monty, took the car off the ferry and parked up at the side and went back up to collect Ursula and get ready for our trip. So we've just got off the Aberdeen boat from Kirkwall. Turned the sat-nav on, but it still thinks I'm in Lerwick. Not that we've ever been to Lerwick, and it's saying 430 miles. Yeah, good old Kia sat-nav. But we are, according to Google Maps, 249 miles away from Booths in Penrith. We're staying in Penrith tonight. So we've got 229 miles on the guessometer, 249 to go. So let's get going, and we're going to stop when I need to stop. So we've stopped at Broxton Park and Ride, and I'm going to top up on a Tesla supercharger and then plug into a 7 kilowatt while we have some breakfast. Got here with 125 miles left. I decided to stop here instead of Dundee because there's an nice eatery next to the travel lodge. So I'm going to use my app to activate the charge on this Tesla supercharger. So basically I'm going to open up the app. I've got the Tesla app ready. Find a charger. This is on the Tesla app. Perth. Charge here. It's 63p. Don't care. Right, I'm on 6B. Go to 6B. First plug in first, then connect to the post. Plug in. 6B. Start charging. After plugging in, it may take up to 2 minutes to start charging. Oh, hello. Initialising charging. May take up to a minute to start. So easy. Let's just get in the car and just see if it does it. Oh, I've just had notification. Tesla have taken £20 holding fee, I think, off my card, which is fine. There we go. So 53%, charging at 53 kilowatts, and I can keep an eye on the charging rate. So it's saying 32 minutes to 80%. So she'll leave this charging. I'm going to get some breakfast and then come back and move it. So here we are back at the car. I'm at 94% when the camera decides to focus. So I've been on 1 hour 5 minutes, which is exactly the time it's taken for us to eat a breakfast. It's cost me £16.26, and I'm now going to stop charging. There we go, and it's disconnected. Let's go and disconnect and get on our way. So there goes 162 miles to our bed and breakfast for the evening. We're going to get there about 1:45, so we'll pop to Booths, do a bit of shopping, have something to eat. So it's now, what time is it now? 11 o'clock. 94%, 226 miles on the guessometer. Let's get going. Nice to see some non-Teslas at these superchargers as well. So yeah, let's get on our way. So we stopped at Booths in Penrith at an Instavolt, not the cheapest, to put 33 kilowatt hours of electricity in at 89p. Cost me £28.39. I also had to fill myself with some 2,000 calories of cake. So we've stopped. So we're stopping tonight at a place in Penrith called the White House, a really nice B&B. And Prue, the owner, is very nice and loves dogs. So she's introduced to Monty. Of course, inevitably, I started talking about electric car chargers. Orchards, we get a lot of electric EV owners here. Would you like to use my 3-pin socket? So it's on a granny cable. I did say you do know there are grants available for businesses, and she started to relate how unbelievably complicated and expensive it is. Yes, you'll get a grant to fit a car charger, but something about it's got to be inspected once a year at about the cost of £2,000 or £3,000. So she's not keen on doing that, but I'll work on her, I think, tomorrow and tell her she could fit one herself for a fraction of the cost. Anyway, granny cable tonight, leave tomorrow morning with a full charge. Winner, winner. So that night we went to the local pub, the Georgian Dragon, and oh my word, the food was delicious. I had haddock and chips, absolutely the best I've ever had, and Ursula had an amazing risotto. So it's Sunday morning. Good morning from the White House, and not the White House where some other bloke lives in the States. The White House guest house. It's just lovely. It really is nice. Got some car spaces there. But overnight I plugged in. They allowed me to plug in on a granny cable. I shut the garage just to keep stuff safe, just pushed it to, and obviously stop anyone interfering at the front. So let's get unplugged, see what we've got. Unplug it first. 227 miles range. Not too bad for winter. And the fact we were driving at a fair old rate last night. So there we go. Always take your granny cable with you, because you never know when you might encounter a very hospitable guest that allows you to charge overnight on a granny cable. So I've left this morning with a full charge. So I think, well, I know I'm going to leave this behind the back seat because it was buried in the boot, and I'm going to show you the state of the boot. So there's all our paraphernalia and Ursula's heated kettle, and as you can see in the back we are fairly stacked out. So that's all our clothes for the trip, bit of basic food and Ursula's makeup and all my computer stuff. I'm going to keep the 2 cables here, got the type 2 and obviously now the granny cable, and our quick overnight bag sits there as well. And then Monty, bless him, sits there in his little bed, and we've got more stuff all here as well. So yeah, it's tight. I've got some emergency kit is in the floor of the e-Niro. It's tight. Monty's been fine. Got all his dog stuff here. It's like a military operation having having a dog. But yeah, so far so good. Let's get on with the rest of our trip today down to Cambridge. So 227 on the gasometer, and I'll just show you. I'm keeping this set to record the whole trip. So since we left Orkney, I've been driving for 6 hours and 10 minutes in total. 267 miles so far, 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour over the whole trip. So I'll leave that set so that when we come back and it's about 5,000 miles, I will be able to show you the average miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, right. It's time for breakfast. So we've stopped at Sandbach Services. We've been driving for 2 hours. We needed to stop for a comfort break and toilet break. Mrs P is happy because she's got a Costa coffee. I have gone for Porterfield's choice of refreshment, some water so I get more bladder range. So I plugged in. We weren't intending on plugging in, but we're plugged in. We've been here about 10-15 minutes, give Monty a walk. So we're going to stop here for another 10 minutes, have just a bit quiet time, walk the dog, stretch my legs. Ursa's finishing a coffee. Got 140 miles to go and I've got about 150 on the 𝐷𝐿, so we've got more than enough to get to Cambridge, but we might stop again. We've got another good 2.5 hour drive, so it's just a leisurely Sunday drive, but boy is it busy. But anyway, we'll catch you up in Cambridge. So here we are after driving for a good 4.5 hours today down to Cambridge. We're staying at the Ramada Hotel and we arrived here with 10% and 23 miles on the 𝐷𝐿. I wanted to plug into the 𝐖oNity charges which are there, which with my Electroverse card I think it works out at 63p a kilowatt hour, but they're all full. There's 6 𝐖oNities and there's also I think 2 EVs queuing to get on. Well, I'm here for the night. And do you know what? I thought I'm going to default to the 𝐔𝐷𝐈𝐒 ones, which is 79p, and they're not that powerful, but I don't really care. So I'm pulling the dizzy heights of 43 kilowatts. So I'll be at 80% in an hour and 3 minutes time. So I'm going to sit here. It's a double-headed CCS Rapid, and the one next to it is actually a CCS and a 𝐶𝐿. So I'm not stopping anyone using a 𝐶𝐿 because this hasn't got 𝐶𝐿, it's got another CCS. Anyway, been an easy drive today. Really had to sort of put my foot down at one point. We sat in traffic on the M6 for a good 40 minutes. There was multiple bumps, and I think it was because the sun was low in the sky. But we crawled along at 30 miles an hour for something like an hour. So yeah, it wasn't stressful. We did that unplanned stop for a comfort break. I needed a loo and to walk the dog and exercise him after 2 hours. So I could have just about made it to here from our bed and breakfast this morning, but we decided to stop, and I'm glad we did because the traffic was starting to back up just as we approached the services. So we docked into the services, had a wee, had a rest for about half an hour, walked the dog, topped up for literally 20 minutes and then joined that massive long queue. Now, had I not stopped, I would have had an accident in the car. I say no more. So I'm really glad we stopped, had a wee, stretched my legs, had something to eat, and then we were quite happy to sit in that awful traffic jam. Hope everyone was okay. I think it was just a minor bump, but anyway, it's worked out well. So even though we stopped for an unscheduled stop, we just took the advantage of plugging in whilst we were there. So tomorrow we're down to Ashford in Kent, which is not too far. I think it's about 80 miles. So it'll be an easy run tomorrow down to there. Anyway, we've had something to eat. Going back to the hotel room at the Ramada. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. I'll put how much this cost when this finishes in the video as well. So here we are at Cambridge Services, and we're staying in the Ramada Hotel, which is over there. Tomorrow we're off down to Ashford in Kent. So there's 6 𝐖oNity Rapids here, very busy, people queuing to get in. Just down there is the more expensive at 79p a kilowatt is the 𝐔𝐷𝐈𝐒 Rapids. Now obviously with my Electroverse card, the 𝐖oNity I think was 54p. Hence the reason why they're being quite so popular. So I charged up on the 𝐔𝐷𝐈𝐒, but see what's going in, folks, because people often say there's not enough infrastructure, but get a load of that. So they're all rapids waiting to go in, and here you can see all the ductwork and all the transformers, I don't know, all the gubbins for the rapids. Everything's all going in there ready for those extra rapids down there. So people do often complain there's not enough infrastructure, but It's a bit of a chicken and egg scenario. These companies aren't going to spend millions of pounds on infrastructure if they don't think demand's there. They're going to wait for the demand, and then they're going to see a business case for actually spending more money to fill the demand. Now they know how often the grid serves are being used and how often the ionities are being used, and they're now responding by putting their hands in their pockets and putting in the infrastructure. So it's not all doom and gloom. Things are on the up, and probably when we come back for our Spanish trip next year, these will be working here. So good day today. Again, all the rapids have been absolutely easy. I've not had to queue once. Admittedly, I was fortunate to be able to jump on that grid serve. But if I couldn't have got on, I'm here for the night. I could have come out at, I don't know, 5, 6 in the morning before breakfast and plugged in then. So there's not been any issues with me charging today in the 𝐸iro. See you tomorrow. So morning, it's Monday the 30th. We've just left our Ramada Hotel in Colchester, Cambridge, on the A11 at the services. So as you've seen from the previous clip, charged up last night. I'm not full. I don't need to be full. I'm at 66%. And just to show you, I've got 150 miles on the gasometer, and our destination is 109 miles away. So Mrs P, totally unrehearsed, how's the trip been so far?
It's been really good.
Hasn't it? It's been quite chilled.
It has been really good. Yeah,
have I been stressing about chargers?
Not at all.
and
Honestly,
I've not annoyed you in any way, have I?
Oh well, not not in the driving department.
Not car related, just other aspects of my life.
No, it's been great.
So leisurely drive today, not so long today. I think yesterday it was the best part of 4.5 hours we were driving, which was fine.
We didn't get stuck on them. There was a couple of bumps and accidents, wasn't there, on the M6?
That's right. Yeah.
So we got held up in slow traffic for a while.
But today it's an easy drive, just over 100 miles round the clockwise bit of the M25. So as you look at the M25, it's sort of from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
And then through the Dartford Tunnel.
Yes. Right, we'll catch you at Ashford in Kent, where we'll do the next stop and charge, etc. Right, good morning. So I've downloaded the GridServe app because I'm at a Dobbies, which is literally 1 minute from where we're staying in Ashford at the Travel Lodge. So anyway, downloaded the GridServe app last night, so you tap that. I've put all my account details in, so I just put charge. And it says, please enter the charger ID. You can find it in the centre of the charger. So I'm going to go out in the rain and you can hear me do the process. So the charger ID, oh, here we go. So it's ID GS11233. The left hand side CCS and the right hand side, so I'm going to go the left. Please choose a connector below and plug the charge cable into your vehicle, holding it firmly, which is a good tip because with CCS connectors, oh my word, that's heavy. Sometimes they can be a bit heavy and not make a proper connection. Try doing this with one hand into the car. Anyway, there we go, that's in. Continue. And I've got my card on there. Start charging. Initialising charge session. Please wait, your charging session will begin shortly. Oh, cool. Oh, hang on. Hello. We're connecting to the vehicle now. Make sure it's pushed in nice and hard. Yes. Hey, we're in. And we're charging. There we go. And the kilowatts is showing on the dashboard. And yeah, quite like that. And then it says there, slide to stop the charge. I'm guessing as we get more info, it'll tell you on the app. There we go. Oh, charging curve as well, like a bit of geekiness there. Charging power 30 kilowatts. Well, it's racking up, it's now 38, which is because the battery's cold, which is normal. So as it gets more energy into the battery, it'll heat the battery up and the charge will be that much greater. And they're showing a nice geeky graph to show you the charge rate. Right, we're here. We've checked in with the dog and we're now waiting to get on the train. So how's the check-in been, Mrs P?
Really easy.
Pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Great.
Monty left his mark on customs.
Monty disgraced himself.
It was
in the pet check-in.
Pet check-in, he did a wee. He wouldn't ever do a number 2, but he did a wee.
I think it was just excitement.
It was.
Having his own passport and papers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything's gone really well. Admittedly, it is 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's very bit drich, but apparently it's blowing a hoolie up in Orkney in Scotland, so we're getting away with it relatively lighty. But anyway, I've got 167 miles on the gasometer, and when we're on the train, I'm going to reset to kilometres, which will be fun. Where are we heading to, Urs?
Heading to Calais.
Yeah, I know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the train's going. It's not going anywhere else.
And then we're driving, I think it's about 23 miles to Boulogne-sur-Mer.
Boulogne-sur-Mer, which is where we're going. So we'll catch you the other side, but I'll try and get some footage of getting on the train. I'll see you soon. So before we get on the tunnel, I might as well change my settings to kilometres. So if we go to setup, go to navigation, go to units, go to kilometres, so I'm showing, there we go, everything's changed. I've now got, let's go back, I've got 267 kilometres of range at 71%. So everything's switched over to kilometres. Brilliant. I just need to set what we know, darling. In the train, and I've just sped up the next 5 minutes it took for us to drive all the way down the train till we were finally parked up.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to stay in the cars, and as soon as we entered the tunnel, 35 minutes later we were coming out the other side. Really quick, really smooth. So that's it, we've arrived in France. The next video will be from here down to the border of Spain, so I'll see you in the next one. So you want to know how much it cost. So this is a UK leg. So at home, obviously I charge overnight because there's very little solar this time of year. At 8.5p, which is my Octopus Go rate. Now if you want to join Octopus, there's a link in my description where you get £50 and I get £50. Great company to deal with, just saying. To fill this on cheap rate electricity with 64 kilowatt hours at 8.5p per kilowatt, it cost me £5.40. So I'm going to take that as my starting figure, leaving home fully charged, £5.40. And then quickly, at Perth, Tesla superchargers I took on 31 kilowatt hours at £16.30, that's at 51p. And then at Penrith Booths, Instavolt took on 33 kilowatt hours at 89p, ouch, at £28.39. The White House Bed and Breakfast, Guest House, free. Okay, she didn't want any money, it's free, so that is what it is, which is great. Sandbach Services, Grid Serve 79p, that was £14.81. Cambridge Services 79p again with Grid Serve, took on 37 kilowatt hours, that was £30.02. And then finally another Grid Serve at Ashford in Kent, literally 100 yards or 100 metres from our travel lodge in Ashford, was that Dobby's garden centre with the Grid Serve Rapid. That was 79p, took on 44 kilowatt hours, and that was £33.67. So the grand total, the cost for me to put electricity in this Niro to get down to Ashford in Kent was £128.59. Yes, that's expensive. So to put it another way, with petrol being at £1.42 a litre, that's £6.39 a gallon, £128 is equal to 20 gallons. Now 20 gallons to do 596 miles, which is what the distance it's covered, it would have been 29.8 miles per gallon, so nearly 30 to the gallon. And all you diesel people there are now screaming at this screen, so my diesel does 50 to the gallon. It probably does. So this is an expensive way to move an electric vehicle. But the thing is, I've got choice. I've got choice whether I fill up at home. I've got choice when I go around to different rapid charge providers. And the choice I've made now is to sign up to Tesla's supercharging network with my Kia e-Niro, because, and I'll put this in the next video, it's a lot cheaper to use Tesla superchargers. So that's what I'm going to do.
And we don't do this drive all the time, do we?
And we don't do this drive all the time, as Mrs. P has just said. So there you go. I don't mind. It's still a little bit like pulling into the services and Mrs. P wants a really nice flocky mocha hocker kappa flappuccino from Costa. How much is a Costa coffee?
About £4 something.
£4?
Yeah.
I can make that for 50p at home. But you pay for it because you want a coffee. I'm happy to pay for rapid charging because I want to charge. It's my choice. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this first leg of the video. Join us for the French bit and see how much less it costs in France for me to do 596 miles, let's say 600 miles. At 600 miles, I'll make a note of the cost to fuel this EV. See you in the next one.